Are you a bad enough dude to rescue the president? Secret Service is a terrible first-person shooter for the 360. God hates me, so there's a PS2 port. The start of the game was kind of promising. I thought, hey, this is actually decent. But before we get into that, hi, I'm Tuna, and I'm beating every PS2 game. But this random number generator is picking the games for me. Last time, it chose today's game, Secret Service. For the next game, I'll spin it at the end of this video. So for now, let's take a look at 2008's Secret Service.
Agent Pierce, POTUS detail, I have multiple armed assailants. The president has been hit.
This game was released in 2008, 2 years after the PS3 was already out, and 3 years into the 360's life. This isn't really a late PS2 game, it's basically a mod. Or a dare. The game starts and wait, I know that voice.
New biological weapon, later designated CVX gas, to decimate the strikers.
Do you recognize it too? That's right, it's various voices from Halo 3. Okay, yeah, it's Nolan North. So what are we doing at the Lincoln Memorial? Well, we're on guard duty. It's Inauguration Day and Lincoln's looking a bit rough. The game looks a bit rough too. Not the best textures. We play as Secret Service Agent Pierce. While admiring the view, a strange call comes to Pierce's phone.
Do you have the president in your sight?
Identify yourself. This is a secure channel. You're in violation of...
We may not have much time, Agent Pierce. The president's in danger, possibly from within.
The caller calls himself Semper, but won't identify himself. He warns about an attack, which of course happens. And oof, the gameplay. It feels like one of those terrible games made in a software that's like, make a game without programming knowledge. Everything is hit scan, enemies barely react when hit, and the controls, oh my god, the controls. The look acceleration is cranked up really high, and there's no way to turn it down. You can up the sensitivity, but not the acceleration. It's one of those games where moving your character is easier than looking to line up shots. Basically, use the left analog stick to aim, because micro corrections are way too difficult with the right analog stick. If enemies get too close, you got a taser that insta-drops them. And because the graphics are so terrible, there is no bullet marks, destructible environments, and really not much to the gameplay. Go from A to B, kill everyone on the way. Though I will give huge props for the game's variety, and its short length. Though that's like saying, this video is so bad, but thank God it's short. A Black Hawk helicopter attempts pickup.
Attention all personnel, we have shooters in the perimeter. Black Hawk 2, do you copy? Repeat, we have RPGs. POTUS detail, retreat to the memorial. The LZ is hot. Repeat, POTUS detail, retreat with the president to the memorial and hold that position. Black Hawk 2 is down.
But in a decent set piece, it gets shot down. This is the one and only set piece in the entire game. When I first saw this, I was like, oh, that's actually kinda nice. I can't wait to see the rest of the game. But nope, that's it. After that, you do a bit of sniping. The game does a really good job of changing up the gameplay like I mentioned earlier. For example, 1 minute you'll be sniping, then the next you're playing this minigame. Okay, this minigame's kind of an exception because it's all over the game, but whatever. After that, you'll be avoiding laser mines, fighting in the dark. No part of it overstays its welcome too much, and I super appreciate that. You can also find cell phones as collectibles, though the messages on them can only be read from the main menu. This wouldn't be an issue, but the messages are story relevant. You don't need them, but they do give the world more life. We fend off the attack and meet up with our agent friend Doyle. Both of us head to the Capitol because of reports of gas bombs, which is also the plot of Siphon Filter 3.
Stick with finding and defusing the bombs. Kill anybody who points a gun at you, but don't go looking for extra trouble. It'll find you on its own, I'm sure.
I don't like this work.
Inside the Capitol is no Secret Service agents or staff, only heavily armored attackers speaking Spanish. More importantly, Doyle says the bomb defusal squad is dead, so it's up to us. The game's got one minigame and one minigame only. It's the whatever this one is called. I'm sure it has a name. I actually don't mind it. It just happens way too often throughout the game. So the minigame does get harder and bigger, which, oh god, that doesn't sound right, later on, and it introduces red chips. Now, if you direct power to the red chips, it's an instant fail. The goal, of course, is to reroute power to every white chip. You can even play this game from the main menu if you want, which is weird. The voice acting is pretty good though. I really like how the game feels alive. Like your protagonist has a voice and character all his own, and he chats with everyone else. It's not a soulless game, it's just kinda bad.
You should see one or more lasers if you're That's a general sensor you've got there. Laser security. It's a trigger mechanism if you cross any lasers.
For what? More anti-personnel bombs?
I don't know. Alarm, turret, door, trigger. Might even call you a cab, for all I know.
Also, the enemies speak Spanish, but mostly English with a Spanish accent, which is pretty funny.
Let American blood run in the streets!
We reach the main floor of the Capitol building, and it seems like the president and president-elect are safe. For now. The level ends, and it's clear we have Call of Duty at home. Speaker of the House Davies is safe, but he claims that the president and vice president hate each other. So that's a little sus. Apparently, these guys have been shipping in deadly gas from a fictional country called Costa Centava. But how did it get to the Capitol? Or even into the country? Someone's a traitor on the inside and very high up. Semper tells us to be careful who we share information with, which is bad news, but I have even worse news. Next level's a sewer level. It's actually the tunnels beneath the Capitol, but it may as well be sewers. You get night vision goggles here, and for some reason, they're on a timer. They refill quickly when not in use, but still, why? It adds nothing to the gameplay. There's also turrets. You can destroy them by shooting the camera on them. Deeper into the bunker, we contact Special Agent Kaufman. He's actually the head of the Secret Service, and he informs us that the president has died. We now know the agency is compromised, but we don't know how far up it goes. We demand to speak with the president-elect directly, but Kaufman still doesn't trust us. Thankfully, Doyle still got our back. The voice acting and even the writing is surprisingly good. The writing really surprised me. I thought it'd be terrible considering the gameplay, but it does a lot with so little. So for example, you never see Doyle, but you still get a good sense of his character just from the radio chatter. Now that I think about it, that's every character. You never, or very rarely, ever see them in person or in cutscenes. It's usually just their voices over the radio, but I still got a good sense of who's who and their motivations. Further into the tunnel are trip mines. Night vision can detect them, but again, it doesn't last forever. You can deal with them a few different ways, either jumping over them, ducking under them, walking by them if there's enough space, and if you have them, you can even use grenades to set them off early. Though grenades are rare and valuable, not just for killing enemies, which they're actually not that good at, but they're much better at setting off mines. Leaving the tunnels, we begin running into Secret Service agents just like us.
Understood, but no kill shots. Use only your tasers on agents. We don't want their blood on our hands. These guys are doing their jobs, just like you.
Yeah, just like me.
But we can't kill them. Thankfully, we do have this new taser. I hope you like it, because you'll be using it a lot. For like the next hour, it's the only gun you can use. You can still stun with melee, of course, but yeah, at least it sets off mines. Semper contacts us over the radio. He tells us that the Costa Centavans are prepared for war. The vice president's been secretly meeting with the president of Costa Centava. The president-elect has promised to crack down on their arms dealings. It's nothing concrete, but it's a start. We reach the White House. The president-elect is holed up in the Oval Office. The Secret Service agents are still firing at us, but at least it's not the Costa Centavans. What a twist, we still can't use lethal weapons, which is annoying.
Doyle, I'm drawing fire from our own agents. None of them are targeting the Costa Centavans. What the hell is going on?
Pierce, this is Kaufman. Agent Doyle has apprised me of your situation.
Why the hell are our guys with the Costa Centavans? Is this your doing, Kaufman?
I'm going to pretend like I didn't hear that. These men are not mine in any way. Put them down, Pierce. Put them down hard. But no deaths. Taser defense only. I want those men alive. For questioning and nothing else. Don't make me regret backing you, Pierce.
I'm still going to get through to the president. You're not going to try to stop me, are you?
Don't spill American blood, and you have my approval to proceed. But bear in mind, Pierce, it takes someone with real authority to convert Secret Service agents.
So I know what you're wondering. Is the White House in this game accurate to real life? Well, I don't have an answer for you. I don't know. It doesn't feel far off, but your guess is as good as mine. Now, I did check the floor plan for the White House to see, which I think puts me on a list. But yeah, anyway, it seems fairly accurate, so I'm gonna give it my stamp of approval.
This is Pierce. I confirm. We've cleared all Costa Centauvan hostiles.
Roger that. We're waiting to receive you in the Oval Office.
Doyle, you hear all this?
Yep, I copy, Pierce. Good luck in there.
Remember what? We try talking with the president-elect and vice president-elect, but our convo is cut short by another attack. By the way, elect means they've been elected, but not sworn in yet, just in case anyone wasn't sure. The next section is as mind-numbing as it sounds. You sit near some windows and shoot the enemies as they appear. It's boring, I hate it. Segments like this have been mostly left behind in the early 2000s, ironically in a lot of PS2 era games, sometimes crossing over into the gritty era of early 360 games with games like Call of Duty. But okay, so I know this is a PS2 game, but it's not really a PS2 era game. Like I said at the start, this was an early 2008 release. So you got to keep in mind, the PS3 had already been out for 2 years at this point. To put it into perspective, we were already playing MGS4, Dead Space, and Fallout 3. Imagine playing this in 2024. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine playing this in 2024? Anyway, a few agents are still loyal to the president and vice president-elect. We head to the roof and continue the turret section. Now, we don't have a turret, but that's what I'm calling it. It's functionally the same. Helping us is a bro of a Secret Service agent. And in a rare twist, he's very competent and he doesn't die or betray us or anything. How often are competent allies in games? I feel like they never write them into the story because they need the player to feel like the hero at all times.
You're a hell of a marksman. I know, because I'm a hell of a marksman. Anyway, we appreciate the trigger finger. One floor down to the rest of our detail. I'll cover you. Thank me later.
So we head down, and the turret section continues.
Where are you, Pierce? We're under heavy attack.
Are you kidding me? Okay, for one, it's really cool this all takes place over the course of one day. There's a real sense of time as you go from morning to daytime to now night. But two, it's been like 10 hours. Where's the National Guard? How can the US military ship a McDonald's anywhere on Earth within 24 hours, but you can't make it to the White House in 10? I'm nitpicking, of course, but I think the game's been relatively, I don't want to say it because it's not, but it's been kind of a tiny bit, just a little realistic. Like, it's not completely crazy. So because of that, I think it makes the plot hole stick out even more. I mean, we're shooting from inside the Oval Office. Is this really the best spot? After the assault, we hold the VP-elect by gunpoint and ask him some questions. There's been covert shipments of CVX gas. Both the president-elect and vice president-elect vouch for each other, which does quell our suspicions of the VP. But the game doesn't really explain why they're shipping in the gas from Costa Centauva. They were negotiating with that government in order to stop their arms exports. My hunch is that the main version of this game, the PC or 360 version, likely does have added content that's been cut here. Now, I don't know that for sure, and I'm too lazy to look it up, so that's just a hunch. That's just a guess I got. Regardless, Speaker of the House Davies was the one leading the negotiations, so he's now the prime suspect. Semper calls the president-elect directly. In a rare, real cutscene, he informs us of a massive attack coming soon. I guess the vice president is going to act as a distraction, while the president sneaks out to Marine 1, with us acting as his guard. Which, as a plan, what the hell? We got so close to having the vice president, or even the president, holding a gun and mowing down terrorists, but no luck. This game could have been so cool. We make a run for Marine 1, which is the president's helicopter, or more accurately, any helicopter that's transporting the president. Fun fact, Marine 1 flies alongside 4 other identical aircraft as a safety measure. It's kinda like that find the ball under the cup game, but there's 5 cups, and the ball is the president.
Pierce, we're on the ground. Where are you?
I'm almost on top of you. I could have used support fire, Marine 1.
We drew heavy fire from the east side of the park and had to swing wide if we wanted to pick you up at all. Fight or flight, you know?
I'm approaching from the west, Marine 1.
We see you, Pierce. Climb aboard. Guns are ready.
In this game, Marine 1 is equipped with a rapid-fire cannon. It's an obvious clone of the AC-130 section popularized by Call of Duty. But hey, at this point, I'll take it. Like I said before, this game is short, and it unironically does a great job at switching up the gameplay. It could have easily had multiple AC-130 segments, but nope, just the one. Same with most of the little gameplay elements you'll find while playing. I appreciate that, even if none of them are particularly good. The president orders us to collect the vice president, but he's overrun before we can reach him. Press F to pay our respects. So we board Air Force One and begin to head off to Andrews Air Force Base. With us is the President-elect, Speaker of the House Davies, and a bunch of Secret Service agents. But it ain't over yet. Semper calls us and informs us that there's another CVX gas canister that's unaccounted for. He also believes it's on the plane with us. Now here's the real kicker. The shipment for it was signed for by Speaker of the House Davies. Not only that, but his detail of Secret Service agents were the same ones who attacked us in the tunnels. He's our guy. He's the one behind the conspiracy.
You men are sworn to protect the president!
It's an ever-changing office, Pierce. They're with me. I'm in charge here now. I want Air Force One in the air in 5 minutes, you hear me? Or the president is dead.
Stay calm, Davies. We can negotiate the release of it.
No! No more talking! This country is going to hell in a handbasket, and it's all this talking that has turned us from world leaders to third world followers. It all would have been remedied today, but I can still make an example of this weak government.
Just as we learn this, Speaker of the House Davies and his agents grab the president as a hostage. They order the plane to take off and barricade themselves in the cockpit of the plane. Davies' rationale for this is that America is weak? Not the most convincing argument, but it's obvious that the devs steered way clear of saying anything, much less anything political. Our superior, Kaufman, calls us and gives us the go-ahead to use lethal force. He also lets us know we need to activate the autopilot. Now, we can actually do this via the plane server located at the bottom of the plane, but to do this, we need to complete another puzzle, god damn it! Now it's time to grab Davies and save the president. I am a bad enough dude to rescue the president. I've been training for this my entire life. Ah crap, never mind. Does this level remind you of anything?
IED of some sort. It went off close by, but I'm all right. Still have enemies at the gate. I'll report back shortly.
Okay, is it a ripoff of COD 4 Mile High Club? Maybe. COD 4 came out a year prior to this game, so it's hard to say. That's a really short development cycle to put into this game. But also, on the other hand, this is a game about the Secret Service, so I feel like it has more of an excuse for an Air Force One plane level than COD does. Was the plane in COD 4 even Air Force One? I don't think so. I don't remember though, but I don't think so. Anyway, Kaufman gives us the go-ahead to also kill Davies. Hell yeah!
You don't want him taken into custody?
I don't believe Davies sees that as an option, Pierce.
The cockpit is sealed off, but there's a thin wall we can breach that leads to it. You got one shot to get Davies, and yeah, I'm pretty sure I missed that shot. Let's zoom in for an instant replay. Yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? Feels a bit off to me. But we can't worry about it too much, because Nola North is giving us an important radio news broadcast. Wait, what? Yeah, I guess they made him do multiple characters. And this may be a hot take, but I don't think he has range. Like, it just sounds like him. It's just Nathan Drake.
News reports the last of the alleged assassins have been detained. However, the Department of Homeland Security advisory system remains at severe.
But that's okay, because the president is saved. Well, the president-elect. The president's dead, as is the vice president-elect too, and the Speaker of the House. They're all dead. Also, our relations with Costa Zentava is so bad that we might actually be looking at war. All right, listen, you can't make a chicken without breaking some eggs, or something. I forget how the saying goes. The point is, a president has been saved. I don't know about you, but for me, that's a success. And even more than that, we get credits and game number 3 complete. Mission accomplished, boys. Wrap it up. Now, Semper never does tell us his identity, but he does say he'll contact us again in the future for a sequel that never happened. Or maybe this is the sequel to the 2001 game that shares the same name. I'm not sure. Anyway, before we go, we need to spin the wheel. And this time's special. That's because I asked you guys for recommendations for a special viewer-selected wheel for the next video. You all responded with 8 games, which was awesome, thank you. I think they're all solid choices, but there can be only one. For now. And that game is Jak and Daxter. I've never played it, and I don't know anything about it other than it's beloved. I was more of a Ratchet and Clank kid. I think I'll keep this wheel around for maybe another spin in the future. Next video will almost certainly be Star Wars Battlefront 2, and then hopefully Jak and Daxter. Thanks for watching, and sub if you want to help out the channel. See ya!